good morning and welcome to the stream. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. Shakira, hey Bob, welcome to the stream. Still have to adjust again the loudness of everything for me, and I hope you can hear music and myself. Welcome to a relaxed Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? I think it's Tuesday. Yeah. Hey DM Sketching, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Still have to set up my alternative chatting tablet so I don't miss everything you are saying. Then I'm almost good. I just noticed that I've left my coffee in the coffee machine. So that can be. I have to get that. And then I will tell you what we will be doing today. Just to get this running. And I get my coffee and be back in a second. See you. My coffee came to me, isn't that nice? I just see that the cam is a bit low, I think. I have to still, camera is something I'm still working on, face cam, but I think it's okay. I'm getting a new light. I might look more appealing in that light. I hope so. Yeah, remember the like button. Thank you very much for bringing that up, Bob. You are so kind. So let me myself check something. Oh, this one will be an exciting one. Boy Between Voice and the cutscene was quite different from your world, quite low. The scene, I'm not sure why or if that is normal. The music for the break screen should be a little bit louder because I'm not speaking during that and my mic is muted during that automatically. So that I'm not screaming and people here in the background and you hear that. In reality, I am a monster. So it is supposed to be a little bit louder. I will have to check if it is too loud. But as it is the sole source for entertainment, audio-wise at least, you have the videos of course, that is not completely unintended. So, this one will be exciting and this one will be difficult. My voice is low. Oh, of course, I have forgotten. Everything is falling apart. I will be back in a second. But you can hear me already better. I forgot to adjust my microphone. I have this new fancy microphone arm, which just now fall to pieces because it is cheap. But it does its job very well if you pay a little attention. Let me just get this built up again, and then we can. This is something for the break screen to happen. But why not? I want to talk to you already about it. I will tell you what was happening anyway. So yeah, thank you very much for telling me, DM. This should be much better already. And I have to somehow adjust this so that it is maximum closeness to my mouth. I think I won't get it much better than this. Let me check out. I am not. So okay, this should be much better. So the music you do not. The music is also so that will also help with the music. Voice ratio. It actually did not look so bad. I think the microphone and everything here tried to adjust to me being so far away from the microphone, and then the voice level and sound level were a little off too. Okay, but other than that, I think we are about ready. So, in my Discord, if you are not part of my Discord, you should be part of my Discord. You find the link down in the description of every other video but the live video. So if you check out one of my time-lapse videos, you should be able to find the link. I'm not sure if it works actually. If it does not work, let me know. I probably have to replace it. I made an unlimited time one, but might not have worked out. We had another one trying to join that said there was an outdated link around somewhere. I'm not sure. I will have to check that. But there were a couple of different people to draw. So, but hear me out till the end. I will show you who we are drawing, and this one will be an exciting one because there are a lot of challenges with this one, and I will tell you which. So it is, you noticed this probably when you were joining the stream. It is Jason Momoa, it is Aquaman. That was pretty heavily requested, and I hope we will get a couple of more of the people that requested him into the stream in the near future. And this will be not easy because I think the camera is a bit too high now. Because we have a lot of hair. I hate hair. So, to compensate for the hair, I took the pretty courageous and perhaps not best decision of my life. I said, okay, my friends, I have to sit straight, and then the camera is again also high a little bit better. Okay, friends, then if we are going for him and that amount of hair, I need more smooth surface. So I will draw a little bit, I do not know how much yet, of his torso, because nice of him, it's a very smooth torso. Yes, there are a lot of tattoos. That is the next difficulty, which will be quite interesting to tackle. And this might become, in light of that, it might become a 3-part stream. So we will decide for that in the second stream, because we have a lot to do today. So let's get our cup of coffee and start. Did you get that, Shakira? This will be an exciting stream. Okay. That being said, let us try and find out how to start. We will have to go for quite a lot of detail on this one, so I will be probably constantly sharpening. Let me see, I will never, probably at least not planned, deactivate the autofocus again, because there was a lot of blurry footage in the last one, because for some reason the camera decided to just go all blurry. Because deactivating autofocus does not seem to mean hang on to the current autofocus for this app. It means let's play around with it a little bit. So we will be doing this in vertical, right? Horizontal, vertical, yeah. And so the face will become a little bit smaller. And that is also something that I'm not so accustomed to. Of course it will be an exciting stream, it always is. Oh, thank you very much. There's a lot of my plate with this one, so you guys have to stick with me. And I hope the others will come soon to further support. If I had a really good, I need, especially for this, I would need a really good coaster. Let me see if I find quickly the coaster with my logo on it. That would be pretty dope with this setup. It's not the good one, and it is probably still a bit sticky because something went wrong with the epoxy with this one, but we'll see. This is a bit fun. Okay. But I'm especially excited for this one because Jason Momoa. Yes, and not only the face. Probably. But let's start. As you guys know, I always start with a little bit of context. So we, of course, have to find out the proportions. And we will at least, I would say, draw up until the breast and a little bit lower. I'm not sure how much lower we go. We decide that on the fly. But there will be a lot of measuring and stuff going on. So we decide this is the highest we want. So the hair should be completely on it. Yes, I had myself for that. We need the beard, I would say. This is the facial area, so we have a lot of room for the rest. It will be hard, guys. I cannot overstate how difficult this will become for me. This will be the end of the hairline, something like this. Then it already becomes difficult because these not nice men that should have at least released one shaved Aquaman picture for me. The issue is with the width and height. If you do not have a lot of skin, so the difficult in the face, you do not have the typical points like chin and stuff visible, so that makes it difficult to measure it. And Kozarats, hey, welcome to the stream. I can do the challenge, so you can do it in regardless. It will be a learning experience. It will definitely be a learning experience. So what I have seen is the lower area of the beard to the beginning of the hairline is more or less the same distance between the sides of the faces, the visible sides of the faces. So that will help us at the moment when we know where the beard ends, but we don't know that yet. So that is a bit of a difficulty. So let's see if we can totally cheat and see if, oh well, I will zoom in anyway. This will be, no, for this, let's see if, no, we could, that was something I was looking at right now. We could, of course, just use the same size as there is on my screen. Then I could just measure and take it over. But we're not that lucky anyway, and I will have to zoom into the face anyway. This is really not easy. So I guess I have to make some I guess I will have to make some guesses, and then we have to find out if those guesses are more or less correct. So this is the hairline. This is, let's put it a bit down because it's a bit close to that. Then we make the face a little bit smaller to adjust for that. And then we have somewhere here the end of the beard. Then we have a mouth here, and we have something like this. And then I said we have the, when we have the lower beard starting there. We would have this as the width. That is BS, I'm sorry. That cannot be right. And it isn't. I lied to you guys. So the width from nose to... Okay, so we have not even decided what the nose should be. This is painful, people. This is the mouth. This is the eye. And we have somewhere here the nose. Then we would have this is completely professional. This is exactly how a pro would do it. I think that is too, from experience, that is too wide. So we have the eyes here, so that is more or less the widest area. So let's say a bit smaller. And here about the same, then we are pretty middle. A little bit, the head is a little bit on the left because the body goes more on the other side. If I don't make much sense, don't worry, I don't make much sense for myself too. This is a lot of measuring. I'm drawing more. You don't listen, Chuck. You don't listen. I said this 3 times for you and said you should listen. You did not listen. I will draw more than the face because there is Mark Bobbart, hey! Welcome! I did almost miss you. I decided to draw a bit more because this guy only gives me hair and I hate hair. I need more smooth surface. So I will try and go for a little bit of chest in this one. You see, this is... Something is wrong with the epoxy. I have to make at least one perfect one. I have UV resin. I will do that in the near future because I want this one I can use on stream. Show it off. This one is a bit sticky, but and not that smooth either. You see the... Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. Okay. Yeah. Now food is more important than I am. Where is this world coming to? Okay, we have some help here now. So we start, as always, with a little bit freestyle and we will fix that then. The hairline. There's a lot of... This will take quite some time. So that is also the reason you probably also missed that. Eating is so important. I will not rule out a 3rd stream this week because there is a lot to do with this. Might be that we are quicker because of the hair. But as I would very much like to also try my hand on the tattoos and stuff. So this will look very old style, under the sea, Triton before we get into the details. And we will adjust a lot on the way. And getting detail into this face will be quite difficult. I will probably zoom in for you guys while I draw the face, as I will zoom in for me, but this I will have to get some more proportions. For example, beard to pec end is exactly this length. That is cool. Exactly this length from head to toe is the beard to pec. This makes us a little bit, makes it a little bit easier for us. For everybody that is perhaps new to the stream, this is the first time that I stray from just drawing faces. But I hate hair so much, I needed a couple of areas which are smooth shading. Have I taken that? That is an old point. I feel like I've taken that one. No, all good. But that doesn't look right. Oh, guys. I'm starting to doubt the measurements again. Why do I measure if I don't trust it? You guys are too nice. DM Mark Bob. So I'll just wing it for now. This is, I'm not very scented, I get the feeling. I totally, this is not, you cannot tell me that this works out. He works out. Yeah, no. It has to be higher. I'm not sure yet how much higher, but something like this. You often see pictures which are looking a bit strange, where you have more than just the face on it, where somebody draw the complete body. And you ask yourself, why does it look so strange? And it's often because the artist sometimes tends to draw the complete face and then the body underneath and from top to bottom or something, and then you often just destroy the proportions, or you have more or less two different proportions in the same picture. So I try to go a bit farther. So this looks okay, and we have the hair here, yeah. If we try to get the proportions in first, this might. Art Hub Academy, hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining today. Just to point it out, an awful lot of you have also drawing channels, so if you're not aware of each other, check each other out. You guys are all awesome, and you deserve the attention. So check out Weebob's channel. He has a lot of very fun stuff. Check out DM sketching. She has. I'm sorry. And most of you don't show your face. So if I get at some point your gender wrong, I'm very sorry for that. But that's not my fault. You all have fantastic channels. So DM sketching, Weebob art, Mugbob art, Art Hub Academy. So check each other out. You are very creative people and you deserve the attention. And you have to be pretty nice people because you are in my chat. So I think something like this. We are not decided, we will adjust, but it looks not completely out of place. So I guess we can zoom in both on the drawing, which I will have to cut out of the video for the YouTube, because this will be in time-lapse a pretty annoying thing to do. I have to move a little bit to the left. I have to make sure that you guys see it correctly and that the I can do this. All right. I don't promise that I won't fall into the same trap as I just described, that we will focus now on the face somewhat and then have an issue with getting the proportions right on the torso, because I totally expect that to happen. Oh, I like self-fulfilling prophecies, but I think we can work with this. Okay. So, what did I... Artidude! I'm calling all my artist friends here, and Artidude also appears. Great, welcome Artidude. Thank you very much for visiting. Artidude also, as the name says, has an art channel, so visit him. We gotta support each other, don't we? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Lainey would come if she has the time. She will probably come later, or she will be very mad with herself that she did not join the Aquaman stream. Okay, so let's continue. You're seeing in the video now my camera, by the way. That's not intended, but I'm not sure that I can change that. That way, at least you will not see the head that much. I will be squatting a little bit like this anyway, so if it's fine for you, I would actually leave it that way now. Oh. I think the neighbor's dog is barking. Let me listen a little bit to my environment. Okay, so now we start. I've drawn this pretty strong already. Let's tone that a little bit down so it fits to the rest, and then this will become exciting. He also has this extremely prominent eyebrows. We have more or less decided here a little bit for the arc already. This is we will adjust a little bit because now we are more in the detail view. I'm not sure if we are happy with this, but it looks pretty. Something like this. Now see, I think the eyes are too low. This will be difficult. It's a size that I'm not really used to drawing in, but I also saw another artist going with very small portraits, and I was thinking I cannot do that, and I thought, why not try to? Because that opens up new horizons for yourself. Doing a series of smaller ones, for example, some kind of a Justice League team portrait or something, would be fun to do. Don't think I can do that yet, so so we have a mouth. We have this all a bit different, So I'm pretty happy with the size of the head and everything. It might have gotten a bit skewed when we were working on that overview of the details in the face, so those I will rework a little bit. Because we have now the luxury to be in a little bit of a smaller area we have to consider, so it is a bit easier to verify. Starts to look a little bit more like a face, an angry face, but it is an angry face we're drawing today. So, have I missed anybody coming in? No, okay. I always miss people, so I want to make sure that at least from time to time I take a look. So, I think this is a good start from proportion-wise. So always have to make sure to not make the eyes too small. Tend to make the eyes too small. If you're going very small, like I am with this one in comparison to what I normally do, you also lose a certain level of detail that you can incorporate to get the similarities. So that will also be quite interesting if I achieve the same level of similarity that I normally strive for. Also, our Aquaman has these strange bluish, grayish, almost white eyes. You probably have a better name for the color. I don't. Hey, Assassin 9555, welcome. So you seem to have some kind of affiliation to Laney. So let her sleep. Definitely. Or should I know who the Assassin 1955 is? Thanks for joining. Ah, okay. Shark, she's asleep. Also, you meant her. Okay, she's asleep. Okay. Yeah, the stream. Shark, we're still trying to get Shark to stream, but she's quite resistant. I am very hesitant with this one right now. Yes, if you have the feeling, that feeling is not wrong. Because this is much smaller than I normally work with, and I am very... I wouldn't say scared. Scared is too hard a word. But I am a bit intimidated. I think that you can say. Starting to rain over here. Yeah, there's those areas like nose and this side of the nostril. It's very important to get that right, and I'm not sure we have it yet. Guys, I may have pushed luck a little bit too much with this one. Are you happy with being the YouTube mod? Okay. We have to push here because it's fun. And funny. It's just pitch black here. We have no idea what's going on there. So... And while I think we have a good chance by now to achieve a believable face, I'm still not sure how we get the Jason Momoa in here. Your explanations were extremely reasonable, Chuck. So, this is difficult. Checking it from all angles. I guess we have to go a bit bigger here. get in some of the more interesting shadings here. And then he has a scar over the eye, doesn't he? We'll have to incorporate that also, but it might become a last minute thing that I hope I will remember. Let me just put an information of that in here so we don't forget. But this is, guys, this is very different from what I normally do. And you will hear me complain the whole time. Might have to put me on mute if all that complaining gets too much for you. Ah, Assassin, you're one of those guys she's playing Arc with, aren't you? So how is she holding up? She sometimes tells me I should also join, but I would always be the person running behind and asking, where are you? Where are you? I lost you again. And she says she's already holding that spot. Is that correct? Is that spot already taken by her? We discussed that, Assassin, that she should do exactly that on Discord. She did not want to. She is not very cooperative in that regard. We gave her so many possibilities. So many options. So I am a bit quieter than usual because this is really very different than what I normally do. I say that again and again, but it is the truth, and I feel like I'm letting you guys down a bit. And I'm not very talkative. But I hope I will be able to explain a bit more soon. So here's very more eagle-like, actually, less water-like features in his face. So he has this very strong nose. He has these very piercing eyes. And that helps you to a certain degree with trying to find the similarity, but that also makes it a bit difficult in doing this all in a much smaller footprint than I normally do. So this one might lose a bit of that character, the usual let's try to make him look like himself character, and go more into the direction of general approximation. I don't know. Thank you, Bob. I am very unsure about this. This is not an act. So I also have to switch pens soon. Because almost all the details in this one will come out of the dark. This pen will not be a big help in that. So I don't know if you guys have all seen my latest video time-lapse of the Flash, where I was talking about that a lot of the structure that I am drawing, I noticed I phrased it a little bit in that video as if that was a completely new discovery I made. It was not really, but the amount that let me start so that you can follow me also. I stated there that I noticed that the structure of my surface, this table most of the time, has quite the impact on the detail level I can achieve, especially with the more dark, with the softer pencils, because it just comes out. You see the structure of the table. That is actually not uninteresting in certain cases. It gives it a little bit of a structure. The structure gives it a little bit of the structure. So that's fine a lot of the times, but I really hated it on the Flash because I wanted it to get more detail also in the darker areas, which is a bit prevented like that by that effect, hindered at least. So I voiced it like that was something new I discovered in Flash. I noticed that often, but with the Flash it really annoyed me because it stopped me from doing what I do and I could not change it afterwards anymore. So for this one I am actually drawing on the stack of paper that the paper is provided with, and that should help in that regard. I am looking forward to see if I always ruin one piece of paper or if I should just lay one of the same piece of paper always beneath it. I have to check that, but this way I will get more detail out of it also with the darker pencils. So it might be a completely new drawing experience with the darker pencils this way. Learning is a big part of everything, so Chuck, learn everything that Assassin has to offer you. So Assassin is the boss here. He's perhaps the arc boss. I would kindly ask to stay boss of my own art stream, if that is alright with you. Hello friend, can you give me something how I can name you? I really cannot read Arabic signs and I would like to say hello to you. Is there some thing in English letters that I can call you? That would be great. I'm very sorry for this. And welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining today. If you give me a name, I promise I will try to remember it for the next time. Shaq, don't take over my stream. So I'm trying to test the waters with how much detail I can still bring in with this darker pencil, and it is pretty nice. Actually, it's about the same detail. I just will have to keep it sharpened all the time in this scale, so I don't ruin it by having to not sharp enough and so sharp enough edge. So I've somehow managed to get the eyes looking at us, and he does not look at us, he looks to the side a little bit. I will try to honor that, but in the end, in this size, he probably again will look at us, but a little bit more. Yeah, he looks at us again, but that's fine. I think you asked, but it sometimes varies a lot. So it's usually 3. I have moved to the mechanical one for the general approach. I did not use that for a long time because you also have to get used to it, and I could not get light enough with it, but I managed now. So that is my standard starting point at this point, because it's easy to erase. You don't have to sharpen it and stuff like that. And then I had an intermediate pencil when this was my darkest one. I had another pencil, but I moved also there, and this is now my second one I'm using. That's an 8B. And then I have Mr. Squeaky somewhere around here. The real star of the show, but again, like always, he is a bit shy and likes to stay in the shadows. So Mr. Squeaky, my Blackstone one, is then the third. I'd like to try at one point a bit of introducing a bit of real chalk. Not chalk. Coal. But the Blackstone is more or less, it's a different medium, more or less the same. So those 3 are my go-to pencils at the moment. But it can shift. As I said, when I got the Blackstone, that changed the dynamic of all the other ones. And the 8B I use also for the middle blacks, which was my go-to dark pencil in the past. So as I said, this could take some while because I want to take my time with this one, because there are so many new things. It is a new size. I'm doing a couple of things with that I also take his torso with in consideration, which I would actually not do closed, and that's not that kind of stream. I really only consider doing this because it is a very smooth torso, and so it is, I would say, entry-level difficulty. Thank you very much. I will now go and check out your name in Google Translate, if that is okay with you, to know how I can call you, because I'm very sorry that I cannot read Arabic, which I assume it is. I'm sorry if I'm mistaken. but that is not something Arabic, yes. Hamzi, can I call you Hamzi? Is Hamzi your name? I hope it is. I try to remember that if it is. Ask the question as often as you like, Bob. That is completely fine with me. I like to have something to talk about while I draw, especially when it is drawing related. And not everyone that comes new to the channel perhaps has heard that. So if I get complaints from people that I'm saying the same things all the time, we can talk about that. And that also means that people are very regularly in my stream, which is also again a good thing. So no worries. Bye DM, thank you very much for stopping by today. I'm always glad to have you on the stream. See you soon. So this will be a very difficult job for Mr. Squeaky because I have to draw very delicate lines, and for that it's not exactly the right tool. I'm still not 100% sure that I should use Mr. Squeaky for this. Still looks more like an art character, for example, than Jason Momoa. But I guess key once again here will be beard also. With people with beards, it's always important to have those beards and not only to have an approximation as I have here right now, but their actual beard shape and kind of the structure, because without that he would just look like an angry barbarian or a very angry Santa Claus or something. Okay, so I will be a bit quieter than... You don't even see my face this way. Let me get the camera a lot down again. That way you won't see the camera that much and you will see more of my face. Which might get you to leave, but... I can always come back to the time lapse, there's less of my face. very, very characteristic nose, and nostril shape and everything around that. Thoughts on Aquaman? You mean the movie, the character, or in which movie in general? The character. I have a lot of thoughts in general about all of those topics, but which one do you need? Or do you have any favorites? I can talk about them all. All of it. Okay. Aquaman is a little bit of the... Before Jason Momoa took over the role in the comics, he was quite the laughing stock of comics. Aquaman, strange little uniform, not that exciting powers. Like they said in Big Bang Theory, he tells people, the fish, to just poop somewhere else so he doesn't have to swim in it. So his power set is a bit strange. But what people often forget is that he is really strong. And the realm of the sea is not to be underestimated. He cannot fly by himself. I think that is pretty much to be expected when you are king of the sea. That doesn't come with flying necessarily. That hinders him a little bit, but he's quite the fierce warrior. But he's even in the thank you very much that you say it's nice, friend. He is he's one of the founding members of the league also, so his significance in that regard is also not unimportant. But he is a little bit of... He was written more boring before Jason Momoa happened. And they actually pepped it a little bit up and made it more interesting. But he also wasn't my favorite, so I'm saying it a little bit like he was completely underrated. He was not. They did not do the right things with him. They had some pretty questionable design changes on his uniform. They rolled most of that back. Actually, they had in between very questionable design where he was pretty... He was not wearing that much. It was a very strange costume. And it's actually not so far away from the Jason Momoa topless version, which is very... people don't hate it, let me say it like that. It came across a little bit strange in the comics, so that was not the best choice at that point in time. It was in the 90s, I think. Everything was a bit strange in the 90s. Some very strange costume choices were made there. But it did not really lose its strange... the strange air of being more of an outsider superhero. And then the first information came that Jason Momoa would take over the role, and they went this all a little bit more brooding, dark, mysterious version, completely different than the classic version. Not this remastered version, because he had also the long beard, but he was blonde. They made it a bit more ethnical, diverse and interesting with Jason Momoa. That was very smart choices they did there, and that led to an actually very interesting, again, Aquaman. And they also did not completely lose the goofiness. So the issue that DC Comics still has with most of their movies is that they are not very good with joking, with jokes and comic relief. They tend to forget that, but they did include that in Aquaman, which made the movie much more bearable to watch. Assassin's a comic nerd too. Oh, then he should chime in. Assassin, are you still there? What is your opinion on Aquaman? Am I saying something wrong right now? So it is a very classical story. Of course, they have changed some of the lore, but the Ocean Master fighting against his brother story is quite a classical story for Aquaman. So it is a good choice for the first Aquaman movie. And they also, what I think is very good, they did not update his powers. They did not really explain Mera in the movie. Let's not discuss the ambivalence that her actress has. She was a very good Mera, regardless of all the trouble around her person perhaps and her actions. She was a very believable Mera, and she has the power to bend water, and because she's from a different tribe, she's not Atlantean. They do not mention that, they just make it some kind of magic, I think, that they use. So they simplified there a little bit. That's probably good for the big screen if they do not intend to do certain movies around that. Perhaps they will expand on that lore. She is not Atlantean, she comes from a different tribe, and so that is also an interesting story. Normally that's one of the more interesting parts of the comic Aquaman, actually. So they did all of that pretty nicely. So they did a good job with the Aquaman. I have seen it more than once. It is not a bad movie. Thank you very much, Assassin, for that acknowledgement. I also would like to know your opinion about Aquaman, if you noticed that question. Because I was told you know about comics, and that is always nice to have somebody. I do not really discuss comics in here too much because I'm not sure about the audience. If we are talking more about art audience or comic book audience or movie audience. So if you want to talk comics, you are at the right place also. I'm not knowledgeable in everything, but I have a pretty broad knowledge. So it is a good storyline they chose. It is a more boring storyline, one that I normally do not really appreciate that much in the comics, because it is a bit more boring. It is an epic big one, but it is less of the fleshy, interesting story in itself. But it is a good choice for a first movie. So I think they did a lot right with the first Aquaman movie. You might not enjoy it in general, but there is not really glaringly terrible things they did there. So we have already introduced a lot of things, and we still do not see Jason Momoa. It is for that size. It is a decent face for what I normally produce. Let me say it like that. Let's put in a little bit beard. But we have to work around the eyes to get out more contrast there, I guess, to get it to an area where we hopefully see at some point Jason Momoa more coming out of it. Yeah, but it's not Jason Momoa. It is an interesting level. Do you want for me to zoom in even more? Or do you see enough? I cannot really. However you guys want it. If you want to have a closer seat to the face action, I can zoom you guys in. If you say you see everything plenty in this resolution, that's also fine with me. At some point I want to have, let me say it like this, it would be a dream for me to have a 4K camera for up there to be able to do zoom-ins without you losing any quality. If you're watching this, for example, on a mobile device, you would not see that much, so probably let me zoom in. Exactly, he was a very underwhelming character, and it's not for the lack of trying. They tried a lot of different things with him. It just didn't really work out. You see the mouse? Why aren't you telling me that you see the mouse? You see, this is a very close-up look now, and we don't have him yet. Actually, that close-up view also helps me a little bit again to perhaps find some areas where we should work on to get this closer to him. So there were interesting storylines also before that for Aquaman, but it all was a bit underwhelming. I'm not sure, I do not know enough about comic book history and about the writers and stuff, if they never gave it the full attention of the publisher, never gave them priority. Sometimes you have these big stories, often these days, more than not, it feels like, we have these big overarching stories, which, like for example, this is very much in my face now, but I hope it's okay. Like this wouldn't happen with a 4K camera and zooming in. I like the Dark Lanterns, the Darkest Night storylines in DC, for example. I enjoyed that very much. It was extremely overarching. You had this story in all of the comic books, over all the comic books. That was pretty exciting. Although quite expensive if you wanted to read all the stories and you did not wait for any almanacs or something, the way I read it. It's quite expensive. But I think they never really did that with Aquaman. They did not give him ever a driving seat, so to speak, for some of those stories. So I think the character just never, also on the publisher side, was that prioritized, that they really had a chance to do big, interesting stuff with him. Hi, welcome friend. Thank you very much for joining us today. Darkest Night was an amazing storyline. I really enjoyed that. It was one of the best comic book crossovers, I think, across all the worlds, so across Marvel, the DC comic books. I really enjoyed it. It was also one of the biggest, I think. Probably it was every single character that has had a dark lantern coming for them. That is something that I would have liked to see in a DC storyline, if they ever really managed to get that DC universe a little bit more organized, and if they introduce Green Lanterns, which I think they are planning to, but there are always something in the way. That would be a very interesting thing to do, although probably too big for a company like DC. They don't have the long breath that Marvel showed with their approach to the movies. So I'm more of a DC fan actually, but in the Marvel, the movies, definitely I'm going with Marvel. What they achieved there is just unheard of before. And also a lot of people have a lot of gripes with Endgame. In some what they did there with the Marvel movies just cannot get enough praise. And the series. There, for example, DC is again messing up in a big way. If you look at the TV series that they have a lot, and they again fracture it all in different worlds, different places. They could have brought all of that together and did something amazing. In some areas they did with Arrow and a couple of the other series. But then again, it also always is like a little bit, yeah, we use the same characters in a cameo, but it's not necessarily in the same world and stuff. So they don't have the courage to do it right. Yeah, I needed that for a little bit of limiting of the face actually, Chuck. I know that the hair will be very important for our friend here. So with that done, I can go, for example, for a little bit more darkness here in the nose. Define this a little bit more. But I think the Jason we are looking for is in the eyes. This is different. I say that a lot, but we have to keep in mind that this is very different from what I normally do. Whole body drawing. Not whole body, but a lot of body drawing, so different size. I might not get to the level of similarity that I normally try to achieve. But I will be damned if I don't try to get a bit more. Still looks a bit more like an angry barbarian. DC has so many great stories they could pull from the comics, but don't, unfortunately. Yeah, and also the big events, they should have been a little bit less focused on. They have a different approach than Marvel, so That's fine. It's their decision. Obviously, it is their movie universe. But the approach is so different. They are more going for the single movie approach, or they are trying to cramming a lot then into those single movies. Just like, for example, also with Batman versus Superman, which is also not an originating from the comics in that way that they show it there. So they do a lot of dumb decisions and then don't go full way with it. So, for example, I discussed this with some other people already. I think in real life, actually. I don't know if we've talked about that in the stream. And they did an extremely poor job of portraying Lex Luthor there. That is not Lex Luthor, that's more of a version of the Joker. So why not recognize that? Why not go with it and just say, okay, we are going completely commando in the movies, and now Joker and Lex Luthor are the same person in the movies. That would be some interesting signal where they say, okay, we are different, we are very different from the comics, and that is okay. But they don't do this massively enough that you're not recognizing it as something completely different, and then they are not close enough to. So it's halfway and nowhere really. If you know what I'm a bit rambling again, but probably you understand what I mean. Demarian Draws, hello, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. I am trying my hand on an Aquaman today, and it is much smaller than I normally draw because I will also incorporate a little bit of the body, actually, which I normally don't do. So it's a bit of a difficult one. So right now it looks like an angry pirate, not that much like our friend Jason Momoa. Yeah, let me tell you, realism is not all this. Should take a break from realism and trying to always do news. I'm doing a lot of new stuff lately. I should just in between, I should just bring something more normal for myself. I think I always do a smaller project. I already planned something bigger again for Friday. I think I would just do something regular for once there. Just a good old portrait, standard, no teeth, not that many hairs or something. Something standard, because this is already driving me nuts again. I don't get a Jason Momoa out of here yet, so this looks more like an angry pirate. Or like an R character. We're talking also about R characters. Shanika, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining. You cannot really see that much of me because I'm zooming in. I'm drawing much smaller than usually. So I try to give you, as long as I focus on the face and all the areas around that, I try to give you a little bit more of a close-up so you can see more. But that is in not really in favor of the face cam, so I'm sorry for that. Friday video, is it you? No, it is not, because you're not a content creator and you do not give us the pleasure of becoming one, so it is definitely not you. So this, but I was thinking if this would be a two-stream, a three-stream portrait actually, because there's so much I'm planning to do. Because it is smaller, it might actually just be a two stream, like it regular is. I always do a two stream. And if then something has to be finished, it's normally not really size for a third stream, and I do that on camera but not live, and then include it in the time-lapse that I release every Monday of the live streams. I think my light is dying. That wouldn't be good. But as this is much smaller, it might be that there is a little bit more than I usually do off stream, but not enough to warrant a third live stream. Perhaps something small, spontaneous, just somewhere on the weekend while I just finish it. I'm not sure. We'll see. Might be a reason for you to start a stream. Just to sing a stream, so you can say, I am a content creator. You have to draw me. Perhaps there will be something like a mod appreciation week or something like that. We'll see. So, something like that on this side. Let's go in here a little bit. How many people does he have only for his hair to design it this way? I don't want to say how to comb it or something, whatever you say in English. This is hair design they have to do. It looks so messy, but also so designed. Doesn't make it much easier to trying to reproduce it. Hey Art Color, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much. I am not that happy yet. It is much smaller. I always say that to everyone that comes in new. It is much smaller than I normally draw, so it is a bit difficult on the detail. And I noticed that very much, unfortunately, that I have not yet managed to get the resemblance, which I would like to. I'm trying to get everything around right now to get it a bit more complete in the regard of everything surrounding him. So I hope that helps a little bit, and also helps to really highlight how I have to go with details in shading of certain areas. To get more of the resemblance in there. Because yes, I am actually not lying. Doing this in small is much more difficult, or at least different from what I normally do. I still would like to achieve more. Let's give it a little bit of an underlying shade to make it a bit more easy. I'm not sure. I'm not happy. But if you are not new to my streams, you know that I am going through quite a full lot of valleys of being happy, being not happy. So we won't give up. Please remember to hit the like button. Exactly. Thank you very much for writing that, Bob. I need to get some kind of moderation bot in here that does that for us from time to time. So whatever that word is, art color. Thank you very much. I'm not. It's called Cyrillic, right? Cyrillic letters. I'm not really good in them, but I assume it is positive. And in case it is positive, thank you very much. Art color, are you doing live streams? I haven't seen them. For everybody else, art color is also like Bob and a couple of others in here, so check them all out. They are also YouTube artists and they all deserve recognition. So spread the love and connection. If so, I have not seen a live stream of yours yet, I think. Doesn't bother me to write it every now and then again. Yeah, thank you. I started life as a receptionist before becoming an engineer, so my typing skills are okay. Take about 2 seconds to write that. Thank you very much. Receptionist, I think, it's an interesting job, isn't it? I think it is. I could like that to a certain extent. The issue with all of customer-facing jobs is that there are a lot of nincompoops out there, which you still have to be nice to. So But I could imagine that you have a couple of interesting stories to tell about that. And working as a receptionist in general. So I'm actually not too mad at the hair. It is not very detailed, but it is very small. So I think it is reasonably okay. So you know what we will try to do, which is, I always say you have to put in the eyelashes, but on this level of small scale thingy, this is difficult. This is very difficult. I sharpened the tip and I should probably sharpen it again to an extreme extent and hope that it doesn't break. And we will add a couple of lashes because he has also pretty strong lashes. I even see them on this quite small resolution. That's always dangerous because there's little breaking. I see there's already a dark spot. I think the breaking lead tends to ruin everything. Try to get it scraped off. It is latched onto the. I think we will have to go with it. It lives there now. Okay, so. Let's work with it. Okay, so get this a little bit. A little bit in there. That line actually, just that single line I just drew in there, it's not perfect, but it somehow gave it a little bit more of the Momoa vibe, because he has very strong, very characteristic eyes, and even if it's not the right line, perfect line that I drew there into the eyes, just making that stand out a little bit more already brought us a little bit closer to our friend. But we might be already near the end of the first stream, but because I feel like I need a little bit of distance from the face area to see if we're missing something and where we perhaps should just a little bit more. We will clean up some of the shading around here, but we won't go into too exciting stuff anymore. We will not complete the hair, for example. There has to be hair drawing in the second stream, doesn't there? Sorry for touching the camera. You see the cursor again. This one is this will be quite a cursor intensive time lapse. I will not be able to cut that out everywhere. So another thing to to excuse myself for any voiceover of this time lapse. So the hair will actually help also again a bit on this side. Still looks like a bit of an old grumpy pirate, but it's not too far away from the character design. So in regard of the difficulty level of this, I am actually not completely unhappy with it. Hey Lee, welcome to the stream. Hey Lainey, you are late. No, totally fine. Thank you very much for coming. And I actually hoped, Lainey, you would be glad about the model I chose and the challenge I chose, that I will include part of the body. So if you're not here for the body part on Thursday, that would be your loss. Till 6 a.m. because of the push you had, right? You were watching your subs rise. Congratulations, you guys, for the successful short. You had a race, those guys had a race of, I think 30, 40 subs this night. Amazing. So check them out, they are playing games. And Ark, we've been talking about Ark today a little bit. And they also started now with playing Ark, and they had a pretty funny short that got some traction overnight. So congratulations. I am not envious at all. I am very happy for you guys. Then let me reiterate once more, because you came so late to the party here. This is pretty difficult what I'm doing. This is a completely new challenge. So what I am doing here is a lot of hair in a small size. So you guys were had a strong voice requesting Aquaman in the last few days. And I thought, why not? He is still pretty recent. He's an interesting one. And then I thought, with all the hair, so there's not really much face with him to draw. So I need more smooth surface. So I decided to also go for the body a bit, so to make up for that. And fortunately for us, he has a quite smooth body. Should not be that difficult, the body as it is. The thing is, of course, the tattoos. So there are a lot of interesting things in here. First, I never draw this small. This is just, I'm drawing really in vertical. I will zoom out in a second. Let's already zoom out while we do more or less the outro. This will be a vertical picture. And we have the face, and we will have, I've not decided how deep we go with the body, but drawing the tattoos will be quite interesting. Drawing the size is quite the challenge to get the likeness, and I'm still not where I want to be in the end, but it got a little bit better just now when I played around with the eyes. Perhaps when we introduce a little bit of Mr. Squeaky, which will be a big risk again in this size, it might be even more of him, but we will have to complete the hair for that in the next stream. So the pose, the lighting in this picture is quite difficult, so this is an exciting one. So don't forget to hit the like button. Exactly. Shorts are weird in how they perform. Great work and excellent news. Yeah, It is Yorkshire Puts. Congrats. He has a smooth body. That was more important for me at this point. Hey, Rayans. Thank you very much. We are about to close it though. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, so this is what we are planning to do. This is where we are right now. Next stream we will go for the hair. I might probably jump into a little bit of detail in the face, because I have a fresh perspective, fresh eye on it then, and might see better what we really need in terms of details to get closer to seeing Jason Momoa and not just the angry pirate in this one. And yeah, then we will go for the hair. Probably go also in with Mr. Squeaky before we then take a look at the rest of the body. We see how far we come, and if there will be a third live stream on the weekend, or if that will be just a little bit cleaning up to do, last finishing touches, which I normally do then on camera but off live. For the time lapse I always post on Monday. So it starts to grow today, so there are more people in here now, but we are at almost at the 2-hour mark, so I will close the stream for today. Thank you still very much for dropping by. Thank you very much, Yorkshire Puts. Thank you, Lee. And no body hair, exactly. I think that is something which is quite logical, actually. Not the beard and everything he has in his face, but why would you have hair underwater? There are not that many sea creatures with hair. Doesn't make that much sense underwater. So, thank you very much. See you soon. Again, thank you so much for spending time with me. We will see each other, I hope, on Thursday. Put that into your calendar because it will get interesting. And see you then. Thank you very much and goodbye. And I'm clicking all the wrong buttons, so I'm saying bye again.